I'm Bruce Morrison, your teaching artist with Meadow Arts Alliance here in Twisp, Washington. So today we're going to draw eagles, our national bird. This is a bald eagle head, and this, however it goes, would be an eagle flying. We'll draw both of those things. So for today, all we'll need is a pencil and paper, some crayons, probably just a black, a brown, and a yellow, and then a set of watercolors to fill it in. Of course, some water to go with it. Always good to have an eraser handy. So get those things together and we'll draw an eagle. All right. Well, in drawing an eagle, let's start with the eagle's head, okay? Because that's a very distinctive part. And one thing I want to start with is the fact that the eagle's head isn't round. It's actually a little bit kind of boxy or square. They have a very large beak. The beak has a hook on it, and the eye is tucked under this brow like that. So let's start with the beak, okay? And we're just drawing the head now. So the beak will come out and then hook down, kind of like that, and then tuck back in. And I'm going to then have it, right at the top of the beak, it comes up steeply. It comes up a little bit and then flattens off and goes back across and down. There's a lower beak here tucked under the front. And then the eyebrow, okay, the eyebrow is what gives the eagle that fierce look. And it comes off right at the top of the beak and comes back and then sweeps down like that. Okay, that's a ridge. This is higher. And in a white head, it's hard to see. And then the eye you won't see the whole eye, so it's not a full circle. It's tucked in like that. And then, of course, there's a pupil in it. The outer part of the eye will be yellow. The inner part will be black. But remember to leave a little spark of light in the middle of it. And then the beak, the bright yellow beak comes down, and there's a border between the beak and the feathers on the face, like that. It comes down and then drops down to its chest. And what else? It has a kind of a jaw, like that. Those are some of the eagle lines. A border on the bottom of the beak. It has a nostril here that it breathes through, like that. That's pretty much it. And then the mature bald eagle has this cape of where the white feathers come against the dark feathers. The wing pushes it up a little bit, but these feathers are jiggy-jaggy like that. And the chest goes down and the back goes down. So let's add a little bit of color where it's appropriate. I'll get out my little yellow, color this beak yellow. Of course, the beak in the real eagle is probably a little dirtier than that. It has a lot of messy work to do, eating those deer and salmon out there, like that. And then I'm going to use a little watercolor real quick and throw in some background, because I like to have a little blue sky. Without the blue sky, it's hard to see the white. So I'll pull some blue around it, just so that whiteness shows up. And eagles belong in the sky, don't they? We see them up there soaring. And then I'll pull in some black feathers. And the tip of your brush is real good for feathering. Notice how I'm taking the tip and pulling it back out of those places. Of course, it doesn't matter if it's a little sloppy. The feathers themselves are a little ragged. So I'll get a start like that, then work back across. There. Close enough for the eagle feathers. Okay. So there's an eagle's head. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow down here, a little bit under the eye, just so we can have a sense of that. Pull a little bit of that off. Maybe shadow the bottom of the beak just a little bit. Oh, after I color it with the crayon, it doesn't want to take the watercolor. Okay, there's an eagle. You can even, as your brush gets dry, it's a good time to do a little bit of light shading to give the effect of a little bit of feathering. And if you look at a real eagle, often they have a little bit of the darkness showing through against the white. Okay, before I make it any more messy, I think I'll call that good on the eagle's head. Now the next thing we'll draw is an eagle in flight. And I drew it diagonally so I'd have enough room. Eagles are big. I'm going to switch to a bigger piece of paper because I have one. And eagles, I'm going to go back, start with your pencil again. And eagles are like a giant cross in the sky. And they're almost square like this. I'm going to do it diagonally. The wings are broad like that, and then the body is half the length of the wings. And it would be on a line that goes across it like that. Draw these lines very light so that you can either erase them or just let them go away after we're done. Okay, the shape of the wings, okay? The end of the wings is famously like a hand. Actually, it's like this. It has 5 prominent feathers, just like our fingers do. Okay, but it's almost square at the end. I'm just going to draw the outline of it very light. Comes back like this. The front of it has a little bit of a kind of an elbow or shoulder here, and on the other side, same way. It has a broad tip, and then comes back, and then has 2 curves slightly in the back. Shoulder here, like that. Actually, I wish these were even larger. I'm going to make them narrower so they'll look longer. Use my eraser, and I do this a lot. I do a lot of erasing when I'm drawing to try and get my proportions right. I'm going to make this one narrower to make it look longer. Remember, when we're drawing, we're constantly adjusting scale and proportions. Do you know with a bald eagle, it takes them 4 years to achieve their mature plumage. That is their white head and white tail. So the head on an eagle is very simple. It's almost like a triangle. It comes out to a point like this, and with the beak, about like that. And then the tail is also a simple shape that's a wedge. It's about like that. I'm going to give this guy a little more room at the end. Those wings are so long. Okay. And now I'm going to draw the feathers that are like fingers at the end of the... So the feather starts with a straight line and has a curved line behind it. Each one is like this. They stick out. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the 6th feather, you're starting the other feathers that don't have as much room between them. And it goes back in 2 sweeps like that. Let's try that again, okay? There's like the thumb feather. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one, which is kind of the sixth one, is what starts these wing feathers, which are smoother like that. The rest of the feathers, if you look at where the shoulder is, everything comes out almost like the rays of a sun from that. So the feathers, when I draw the feathers, I point towards this shoulder point. And notice how I'm kind of swinging the lines of the feathers in as I go back. Close enough for now. And so I'll remember this shoulder point, and I'm pointing my lines of the feathers towards that point. There's kind of a rhythm to those feathers. Sometimes I do it better than others. Good enough. And then the tail also, the fan of the tail also points towards this, its own point, like the rays of a sun. Okay. And notice I didn't bring the feathers all the way up. I'm going to make a little room there because it has feet, and the talons of the eagle go back and curl like this. And it carries them curled. Make it a little. It has feathers that come over the legs that are white. But then it's got blackness in between. So back to the head. Remember we drew that once. So here's this curved beak. Then it comes up square, goes back. The eyebrow comes down. The eye is tucked under it like that. And then back here, the feathers on the white part have this ragged look against the black. Okay, I'm going to use my eraser real quick and take out some of the lines I don't need anymore. Okay, and we'll throw some paint down. I'm just going to use black or a mix of black and brown. So I'm laying down some quick strokes here and purposefully letting them be ragged where they touch that white part. Remember, this is all white, so we're not going to paint that. We'll start here, come back this way, kind of move some of this paint around. And once I've got some paint spread, I can come back and intensify some of the little spots to indicate where the feathers are. I'm just moving quickly today. I could take more time, but maybe not today. Okay, the tricky thing is I like to use some nice strong paint on those finger-like feathers at the end of the wing. Notice I touch the tip of the brush down and pull it back. And that's pretty good for the feathers. So now I'm going to, instead of doing a broad wash that way, I'm going to pull these as if they're each a feather as I paint the wing. Not taking much time here. Get a little more paint. Bring in some more blackness. And our eagle is almost done. Let's see. I'm going to turn it. So it's easier for me when I'm painting feathers if I can pull. And so I'll turn the paper so I can pull it. Close enough. Painting the top of the wing, get some more black. Now, actually the wing feathers, they come out, there's a layer here, and there's another layer of them here. You can try and create those different layers of feathers if you want. If you want to get out a bird book, you can see exactly how those feathers lie, but I'm just trying to get a quick effect of what it might look like. Leaving a little bit of white showing through is a good thing because it lets us see that the way the feathers are. And I'm going to put away my brush, my black, rinse it out well. I'm going to color in the yellow eye, the yellow beak with the crayon, the yellow feet. The feet are yellow too against the white. And the only thing left quickly, oops, that doesn't need to be there, is to throw in, without getting too much black in it, some blue for the sky, just so we can see that white head. One thing I'll have to be careful about is with all this black here, I don't want to quite touch that black or it'll bleed out into my sky. I'm already getting some of that. Must be a kind of a cloudy day today. And the only reason I'm adding the sky right now is so we can see some contrast to the white of the head, otherwise we'd lose that. I'm going to put some sky around the tail so we can see that it's got a white tail, like that. And then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to try and pull some blue in around those feathers. Again, trying not to touch the black right now because I don't want it to bleed out. Close enough? There's a lot of more careful ways to paint an eagle, but whoops, see what happens when I touch the black? It bleeds out. So I can try and fix that, but I won't be able to do a very good job. There you go. So there's an eagle flying. So thanks for drawing an eagle with me. You know, watch for the eagles in the sky. You know, winter is the time when the eagles are in our country most, because the salmon are in the rivers, and that's their primary food. And the deer, unfortunately, are on the roads, and so. But a bald eagle like that is at least 4 years old. And there also are golden eagles, which we didn't draw today, but they're in the high mountains, much rarer birds. So enjoy your eagles. They are, for a good reason, the symbol of our nation, our national bird. And enjoy your time, and we'll draw something else sometime soon.